dive straight into the world of semen retention, a practice gaining momentum in certain circles. A concept that may seem alien to some, semen retention is the intentional practice of avoiding ejaculation. This notion, that may raise eyebrows, isn't a contemporary creation, but rather has its roots deeply embedded in ancient philosophies and spiritual traditions. Delving back into historical records, we find the origins of this practice in the ancient East. Various cultures, particularly in China and India, advocated for semen retention, viewing it as a means to conserve life energy, increase vitality, and attain spiritual enlightenment. Even some of the most celebrated Western philosophers like Pythagoras and Plato endorsed the idea of semen conservation, citing it as a pathway to harnessing intellectual prowess and emotional strength. In the modern era, this practice is gaining traction among men who believe that semen retention can boost their physical strength, mental clarity, and overall well-being. The rationale behind this belief is the theory that semen is a potent concoction of nutrients, enzymes, proteins, and minerals. By retaining it, proponents argue, the body can reabsorb these nutrients, leading to enhanced energy and vitality. To provide a balanced view and deeper insight, we've gleaned perspectives from a sexual health expert and a historian. The sexual health expert highlights that while some men report increased energy and focus, there is limited scientific evidence to support these claims. Meanwhile, our historian contextualizes semen retention within its historical and cultural origins, reiterating its deep-seated roots in ancient philosophies and spiritual practices. But it's important to remember, like any practice, semen retention isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. What may work for one individual might not necessarily work for another. And while it's intriguing to explore these ancient practices through a modern lens, it's equally crucial to approach them with a discerning eye, considering both the potential benefits and risks. This ancient practice, now gaining modern traction, isn't without potential risks. As we continue our journey into the world of semen retention, we will delve deeper into the science behind it and explore the potential dangers associated with this practice. Stay tuned as we unravel this fascinating yet complex subject. To comprehend the potential dangers, understanding the science behind semen retention becomes crucial. Semen retention, in its simplest form, is the practice of abstaining from ejaculation. But let's delve into the science behind it to truly understand its implications. The process starts in the testes, where sperm cells are produced. These microscopic swimmers then travel to the epididymis, where they mature over a period of about 2 weeks. The matured sperm then move on to the seminal vesicles, where they mix with seminal fluid to form semen. Now this is where things get interesting. When the body anticipates sexual climax, it prepares for ejaculation by moving the semen into the urethra. However, in semen retention, this process is halted, and the semen is reabsorbed into the body. This isn't inherently harmful. In fact, it's a natural process that happens when semen isn't ejaculated after a certain period of time. But what happens when this becomes a conscious, continual practice? We spoke to Dr. Thompson, a renowned urologist who shared some insights. According to him, while occasional semen retention isn't harmful, prolonged practices can lead to potential complications such as prostatitis, a painful inflammation of the prostate, or epididymitis, an inflammation of the tube that stores and carries sperm. Building on this, neuroscientist Dr. Patel added that the brain too is affected by semen retention. The anticipation of sexual release triggers the release of dopamine, a feel-good neurotransmitter. Prolonged semen retention, however, can disrupt this dopamine reward system, leading to mood changes and even depressive symptoms. The body, as we know, is a complex machine. It thrives on balance, on the ebb and flow of hormones, on the delicate dance of bodily processes. When we stall these processes, like semen production and ejaculation, we risk disrupting this balance. It's a bit like holding your breath underwater, doable for a time, but with potential for harm the longer it continues. The body's delicate balance can be disrupted when natural processes are stalled. The theory of semen retention might sound appealing, but it's important to be aware of the potential dangers. Just as every coin has two sides, semen retention, despite its purported benefits, carries potential risks that need to be understood. To help dissect this intricate subject, we've tapped into the wisdom of experienced urologists and psychologists. Firstly, let's delve into the physical risks. Urologists caution that prolonged semen retention can lead to a condition known as congestion of the seminal vesicles. This congestion can cause discomfort and even pain in the pelvic region. Moreover, the retained semen can lead to bacterial growth, increasing the risk of urinary tract infections and prostatitis. The most serious potential risk, however, is the development of a disorder called retrograde ejaculation. This is a condition where, instead of being expelled, the semen travels backward into the bladder during orgasm. While it doesn't pose a serious health threat, it can lead to fertility issues in men. Now let's shift our focus to the psychological realm. Psychologists point out that the practice of semen retention can lead to an unhealthy obsession with sexual control. This obsession can, in turn, lead to anxiety, emotional distress, and even relationship problems. It can also create unrealistic expectations about sexual performance and masculinity, which could ultimately lead to feelings of inadequacy and low self-esteem. It's also worth noting that semen retention can potentially exacerbate underlying mental health issues. For instance, individuals with obsessive-compulsive disorder might find their symptoms worsened due to the obsessive nature of semen retention. So, while semen retention might seem like a promising pathway to enhanced physical and mental prowess, it's essential to approach it with a balanced perspective. Consultation with a healthcare provider is recommended before embarking on this journey, as they can provide individualized advice based on your unique health profile. The risks associated with semen retention can be significant, affecting both physical and mental health. The medical community's stance on semen retention is an essential piece of this puzzle. The medical community is a diverse group with varying opinions, insights, and perspectives. When it comes to semen retention, the views are as varied as the professionals that comprise this community. A significant portion of the medical community acknowledges the ancient origins of semen retention, recognizing its roots in spiritual and physical practices. Some medical professionals even concede that there might be potential benefits to the practice, such as increased energy levels and heightened focus. These benefits, however, are often anecdotal and lack substantial empirical evidence. On the flip side, many medical professionals express concern about the potential dangers of semen retention. They warn that an excessive practice could lead to complications such as prostate issues, sexual dysfunction, and psychological distress. These professionals emphasize the importance of a balanced approach to sexual health, cautioning against extreme measures that might do more harm than good. A common thread among all medical professionals is the call for more research. The area of semen retention is relatively unexplored in the scientific community. Medical professionals agree that comprehensive, rigorous studies are necessary to truly understand the potential benefits and risks of semen retention. In the words of one urologist, "Without adequate research, we are navigating in the dark. We need to shine a light on this practice to determine its true effects." This sentiment is echoed by many in the medical community, who stress the importance of evidence-based practice in maintaining and promoting sexual health. While the medical community's stance on semen retention varies, there's a unanimous agreement on the need for caution. The practice is not without its potential pitfalls, and individuals considering semen retention should do so under the guidance of a healthcare professional. In the end, as we delve deeper into the world of semen retention, it's clear that more research is needed. The medical community remains a valuable resource in our quest for understanding, providing professional insights and cautionary advice. The medical community urges caution and further research into the practice of semen retention. Semen retention, a balancing act, requires careful consideration and understanding. It's a practice that has been followed for centuries, with roots in various cultures and religions. But as we've journeyed through the complexities of this topic together, it's clear that not everything that's old is gold, and not all practices are suitable for everyone. We've touched on the science behind semen retention, looking at how it affects the body and mind. We heard from neuroscientists, urologists, and psychologists who shared their insights on the physiological and psychological impacts. They've painted a picture of a practice that can have profound effects on the individual, but one that also comes with its share of risks. We've delved into the potential dangers of semen retention, from physical health risks such as prostate problems and epididymitis, to mental health concerns like anxiety and obsession. The practice isn't without its pitfalls. These are not mere conjectures, but concerns raised by health professionals who've seen the impact firsthand. We've also heard from the medical community whose views were diverse and insightful. Some see potential benefits in semen retention, especially when it's practiced with mindfulness and moderation. Others caution against it, pointing to the potential for harm. The consensus? More research is needed. So, where does that leave us? It's clear that semen retention isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a practice that requires understanding, mindfulness, and moderation. It's not a cure-all, nor a path to superpowers. It's a personal choice, one that should be made with full knowledge of potential risks. In conclusion, the balancing act of semen retention, like any act, is about finding harmony. It's about understanding your body and mind, and making choices that support your overall well-being. The balancing act of semen retention, while appealing to some, carries potential dangers that need to be understood. So take a moment to reflect, to understand, and to make a choice that's right for you.